Well, here's an amazing story, and we're making no claims about it. We're just noting it because it's far outside the realm of statistical probability. In just the last month, more than a dozen food processing plants in this country have been disabled by freak events. 2 of them were hit by planes. The rest caught fire. And it's not just in the last month this has happened. This has been going on for the last year. A disproportionately large number of food processing plants have had unexplained accidents. And then there's this. A new avian virus. More than 27 million chickens and turkeys in this country have been destroyed because of a bird flu epidemic. At the same time, China's been buying up 200,000 acres at least of U.S. farmland. We're not saying all these things are connected, but we're saying their effect is the same, a threat to our food supply. What is going on here?
I want to give you a quick short list of a couple of the food processing plant fires. On April 21st, we had an airplane crash at General Mills plant, causing a fire.
Just moments before we went to air tonight, a plane apparently crashed at a General Mills plant, a food plant in Covington, Georgia. 6 tractor trailers were reportedly on fire. This is the second time in a week that something like this has happened. On April 14th, the plane crashed into the Gem State Processing in East Idaho. What's going on here? Well, the story gets weirder. Food processing plants all over the country seem to be catching fire. A couple of days ago, a fire destroyed the headquarters of Azure Standard, one of the largest organic food distributors in the country. At the end of last month, a fire severely damaged a fresh onion packing facility in South Texas.
And here's a few more to add to that list. April 13th, Taylor Farms, Salinas, California, the world's largest producer of fresh cut vegetables and salad kits, 225,000 square foot building, almost a total loss. March 24th, Penobscot McCrum Potato Factory in Belfast, Maine, a total loss. They process Maine potatoes for frozen potato products. February 22nd, Sure Farms Potato Chip Plant in Oregon. Back in August 2021, Tyson Foods, Huntsville, Alabama. That was a poultry rendering processing plant that produces animal feed, which is important in our food supply.
So industrial accidents happen, of course, but this is a lot of industrial accidents at food processing facilities at the same time the president's warning us about food shortages. They're getting hit by planes and catching fire. What is going on here exactly? Jason Rance hosts a radio show in Seattle and joins us to put it into perspective. Jason, good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah, obviously when something happens every so often, you obviously hope that there's no significant damage and certainly no one gets hurt, but you kind of write it off. It's not that big of a deal. Accidents happen. But when you've got well over a dozen food processing plants and warehouses getting destroyed or seriously damaged over just the last few weeks, at a time when the food supply is already vulnerable, it's obviously suspicious. And it could lead to serious food shortages. That's why some folks are now wondering, well, number one, what's going on? And you've got some people speculating that this might be an intentional way to disrupt the food supply. So
wait, may I ask you to pause there really quick? Can I just ask you, I just want to nail this down so our viewers understand. There have been confirmed over a dozen disabling accidents at food plants in the last month, over a dozen.
Absolutely, and we're talking about some really significant plants. The Taylor Farms facility in Salinas, California was completely destroyed by a fire last week. We've had 2 major potato processing plants in Belfast, Maine and Warden, Washington that were completely gutted, which is happening at a time where we already have a potato shortage globally. You were talking about the onion supply at that Rio Fresh. But it's not just produce plants. Last month, there was a fire that took out a Nestle food plant out in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that's impacting frozen food brands like Hot Pockets or Stouffer's, which maybe you might buy if you can't get fresh food from a warehouse that just exploded.
I thought this was interesting. You can draw your own conclusions, but nevertheless, it doesn't hurt to be prepared. Always be prepared. You never know what is going to happen and what could cause food shortages. This may not cause food shortages, but maybe there's something else in the supply chain that can cause shortages. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy prepper shopping.